Hey FLOSSTUBE, it's Leigh from Creatively on Sunday the 30th of October with FLOSSTUBE number 149. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. A YouTube channel primarily about the hobby of counted cross stitch. FLOSSTUBE number 149, crazy. I'm coming up on my 3rd year anniversary on the 10th of November, I think, 3 years of doing FLOSSTUBE, so that's pretty good. I think I've only missed maybe six or seven over that time, usually through travel or medical emergencies and that sort of thing. But it's been great. So what's been going on? I have a little bit of stitching to show you, a little bit of haul. I'll save till the end, but I have kitted up a few things lately. I know a few of you like to see how I kit things up, especially when I'm kitting things up from stash. So I'll leave that till the end, then you can just like disappear if you don't care. Especially since I kit things up from stash and then I start stitching and then change stuff anyway. So you don't want to get too hung up on my conversions, such as they are. What's been going on? It was my first week back at work last week after having had a 2.5 week vacation. Busy week at work. Unfortunately, a few people have gone off sick / with COVID or suspected COVID, so that sort of impacted a little bit of progress. So we'll see how we go. Fingers crossed the developers on deck on Tuesday, because we've got a change planned, and if he's not here, I don't know what we're going to do. Well, we're rapidly running out of year, approaching our change freeze. I think we've only got 4 weeks, 6 weeks worth of that we're allowed to do changes, so that's time's running out. Dad's doing okay. He currently has both my stepbrothers with him at the moment, which is kind of nice. Takes the pressure off me a little bit. But my stepmother, so obviously the boy's mum, she's definitely deteriorating in that she's just sleeping a lot and not really eating very much. So based on those sort of characteristics of her being, in full-time care with advanced Alzheimer's, they pretty much have said that it's just a matter of time. She's definitely end stage now. They said it could be days, might be a bit longer than that. But so they both came up. Well, one came up from Christchurch, one came down from Auckland just to spend the weekend with Dad, and I guess kind of say their final goodbyes to her, and if she does indeed pass for the next week or two. I don't know, it's one of those weird things. It's sad, but it's also, she literally is can't really communicate, just sleeps, and is just not the person that she used to be. So hopefully she doesn't linger too long, really. So it's kind of like just this thing that we're going through as a family. I caught up on Friday, went to dinner with a few stitchers. Judy, an Aussie in a Kiwi world, it's her FLOSSTUBE. She was down from Thames for a work-related thing, so brought a colleague along of hers to dinner who doesn't stitch. Poor thing, she's very brave. And I think 8 of us, I can't remember how many, met up for dinner, which was quite nice, and a little catch up, and enjoyed the company there. So it's Friday night, and then yesterday we had our semi-frequent 4 times a year Wellington stitching catch up in Johnsonville. Thank you, Anne, who is Fiction and Floss on FLOSSTUBE, a book and cross stitching channel. She organises all that for us, and it's someone has to organise those things, and I'm glad it's not me. So I really appreciate all the effort that Anne puts into sorting that out and booking the room and getting the key and getting us all, you know, organising afternoon tea and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's really appreciate that. But yeah, I think the next one is going to be the Saturday day of Wellington anniversary weekend in January, so that'll be the next one. Hopefully a few more people can come along. We had a few friends missing due to illness, injury and other family responsibilities and family illness and stuff, so you know who you are. Hopefully you can attend next time. There's a couple of admin things to say. I have finally got everything apart from the bag for my 1,000 giveaway packaged up and addressed and in my outbox, so hopefully this week I'll get some if not all of that to the post shop and get that posted. The bag, Judith is working on the bag, so she has been unwell but she's working on the bag to get that out, so I would hope I'll get that in the post certainly over the next couple of weeks. But everything else is all packaged up apart from the couple of things that have already gone out. The pink silk I posted when I was in Australia, and the fabric has already found its way into Nicole's hot little hands. And I must say thank you to Catherine from Country Stitch. So when she sent me my Rainbow Club, which I'll show you shortly, I had also ordered all of the needles for the needles that I gave away, and she kindly gave me a discount on those as well, to say thanks for, I guess, all the referrals. She does get some business from me showing her beautiful fabrics, so I'm really pleased that people are giving that a go. And yeah, I appreciate her kindly giving me a bit of a discount on the fabric and the needles for my giveaway. Very unexpected, but very appreciated. And also appreciated people who every now and then buy me a coffee or two through my Buy Me a Coffee link, which is in the doobly-doo. I did have a lovely surprise this week where someone was very generous, and thank you for buying me several coffees. I really appreciate it, and the certainly the contributions do get passed on back to the community, obviously through postage, through you know, the odd giveaway, and also buy the occasional chart so that I can show you shiny new things. Speaking of shiny new things, right, so I did buy a couple of PDFs. The first one is from a fellow YouTuber, Darlene Dion. She's lovely, Canadian, just lovely. I want to go and see one of the plays that she's in because she does theatre, and I love theatre, and it's probably quite far to go to Canada to watch someone in a little local production, but I'm tempted. Anyway, she showed a few of her charts. Darlene does do quite a few seasonal things, which, you know, the seasons don't match down here in New Zealand, and a few little patriotic kind of things, which, you know, again, I don't really need to stitch the Canadian flag. However, she's got some sort of home-based ones, home-themed ones, and I really like this one. She has been doing this as a giveaway. With her last video, this is one of her new charts, and she was doing a giveaway, but I said I'm not going to enter, I'm just going to go and buy it to support her. So I went and bought this one. It's so cute. Definitely one that you could easily use stuff from Stash, and if you stitch it on the right count, fits in a standard frame. And I think it's really lovely. I love the little sort of half penny corner border, and it's so cute. So that one's from, yeah, Darlene Dion Designs over on Etsy. She also does quilt designs, and sells the occasional finished item, but just bought that little one. There's a couple of other little home ones I've got on my favourites or my wish list that I might get in the future. And then while I was over there, I had this in my favourites for quite a while, and I decided to pull the trigger on it, and it's Twilight Wood Sampler by the Wishing Thorn. Terrible mock-up. I'm sure it's going to look way more beautiful than this. Sorry, terrible photo. It has some beads. What does it call for? So original designs, the model was stitched on 32 count chestnut linen by Witchelt using warm fall colours, 9 DMC thread colours, 2 Mill Hill beads. It's 159 by 214. I don't really have a better picture of it, but it's so cute. So I just don't know when I'll stitch it. I'm sure it's something you can easily cut up from stash, and it's just, it's really, I like the fact that it has some beads added. And then also got my Rainbow Club and Silks for You. So Silks for You, we have first of all the Silks of the Month, which, no, colour, oh, I always get them mixed up. Which one's which? I kind of think that the ones that are custom dyed should be called Colours of the Month, but they're called Silks of the Month, and the other one, anyway, does it matter? No. So here are the Colours of the Month, which are the 4 by 15 metre skeins. A couple of different bright sort of options there. We've got PR164, a very citrusy yellow, very bright, acid yellow, and PR067, which is very pretty and nice complement to that with the soft oceany colours and that bright yellow. Then PR133, a nicely variegated violet with a bit more lavendery colour, but a sort of mauvey grey. And then PR100, which is pink and purple and a slightly greener shade of that yellow. They're quite nice. So those are the Colours of the Month. And then Silks of the Month are the 5 by 10 metre skeins. Different shades of greeny blues, bluey greens. I don't really have anything white because I didn't plan ahead. Yeah, pretty colours. So I'm quite happy with those. I got 2 pieces of fabric from my ongoing list of send me stuff. What I mean by that is I send Catherine, periodically I send Catherine a list of specific fabrics for specific projects. So I sort of a while ago decided not to go with a mystery because I just ended up with colours I just wasn't able to match, even though they're beautiful. I just, not stitching on. And I have so many charts, and periodically I just go through and think, well, what would I like to stitch that on? Anyway. So I got I think it's a quarter. It's a fat eighth of 35 count Edinburgh in the colourway Ocean Blue. So it's a fat eighth. It is, well, how I'm seeing it on screen, it's definitely a little more aqua than that, but it is very pretty. And this is going to be for a 2023 stitch along I'm going to do with Judy and Aussie in a Kiwi World and whoever else. And it's going to be the Tiny Modernist, the Stitch Goddess. Don't know when we're going to start that, but I'm going to kit this, now that I've got the fabric, I'm going to kit this up probably with, I don't know, either cottons or silk or both from whatever, and probably tweak the colours a little bit just to be a bit extra. But it's so cute. And then it also comes with an alternate skin palette and hairstyle. And I'm kind of like, I like that hair colour and that hairstyle. I'm kind of tempted to do a combination. So that's going to be on this. And yes, kit it up with whatever I kit it up with. Don't know when we're going to start it. It won't be a New Year start. I know that Judy will be starting hers in December because she does no new starts. So she needs to get a whole lot of her, whatever new start she's going to do for 2023, she needs to start and get, I think, 200 stitches in by New Year's Eve or something. I'm not really sure. So she'll get it started and then we'll kick off formally whenever I get around to it. So I don't know when that will be. I don't think it'll be my New Year's start. and it won't be my birthday start because I traditionally, as in 3 years in a row, started a sampler on my birthday. So I don't know when it will be, but probably in January. I mean, I'm not going to be doing 50 at 50 next year. I just can start whatever I want when I want, but yeah, it'll be a start sometime. It's not going to be a 50 at 50 start. It will be a start in 2023. So that's a little bit of fabric that I got. And then I also got a fat quarter of 35 count Edinburgh in iced tea. And this is like, I haven't had iced tea from her before, and oh my God, I love it. It's such a nice neutral, and it's got a lovely bit of, unfortunately, you know, that's within the margin, but I love that splotchy bit there. But yeah, it's got some nice variegation, and I had originally ordered this thinking that I would use it for the, who is it? Vivian Powers antique alphabet sampler, and then I got it and I'm like, I kind of changed my mind. But then I was looking through my charts, and I think that it'll be perfect for Joyous Day. So this is a lot grayer than what probably it looks like would have looked like in real life, given that it is stitched on, what is she charted on? It was model was stitched on 36 count Legacy, and that, like, it's not what my Legacy looks like. But I really like this, and also I'm going to do a whole lot of colour changes, and I want to use a palette more similar to what the original was, the faded original, like a lot lighter with lots of creams and really light colours. I want less pink. So I'm going to be quite bold with it. So I decided that actually currently this is going to go with this. So, because I like how grey this looks, even though I know that actually this isn't what Legacy looks like. So that's where I'm going with that right now. But this might change, but yeah, that's currently where that is. I think that's all the new stuff. Oh, and I mean, I got myself a pack of Peacemakers as well when I ordered all the needles to give away, 'cause I love these, and I'm down to 3. Or I'm down to a pack and 3, I'm not sure, but you know, grab another pack while you're at it. So I got that. Right, so what have I been stitching on? I had no new starts this week. I did have a start and finish last Saturday, I think it was, or whenever I did my video the day before, and I'm planning to start tomorrow on Halloween. Not really a Halloween start, but on Halloween. So no new starts. I just picked 4 whips and worked on those, which is quite nice. I do want to get a couple more finishes. So the first one I picked up was start number, it was my Heart's Design by Blackbird Designs. So this was a chart that was kindly gifted to me by Sean in Australia, and I'm stitching this on 36 count Affogato linen from Fibre on a Whim with my own, similar to the called for, but my own conversion. This was start number 39 of 50, and I gave it a little bit of love, and I've done all of the non-1/1 stitching. So all of the full stitching, including all the Smyrna, the eyelets I should say, so there's a whole lot of eyelets. The light blue is pale, but the light blue is more visible in person. It is pretty crap on this video. So you've got light blue down there with your satin stitches and eyelets, and light blue around here, light blue across there, and there's light blue right around the edge. So it is, yeah, definitely more, it is subtle, but it is more visible in person. And similar to that, the light blue looks a little bit more visible on this picture, but in person it's not much different when I compare them. What was I going to say? Okay, so there's still, these crowns are 1/1, that L, the initial, which I can at least keep the same initial, is 1/1, and then there's a couple of other initials and a date. and these initials. They're all 1/1. So I just have to decide what I'm going to personalise this with. I might just put a couple more crowns down here, and I don't know what I'm going to put up here. To be fair, I could leave those initials out completely. They don't really, they're not necessary to the design. And I might put just 2 more crowns down here, the 3 crowns up here, put my name, my initial, and just put the year there, because I don't want to do it like the reproduction or whatever this is for. Yeah, so that won't take me very long. I just have to decide what I'm doing. So I'm going to try and finish that this week. So I think, yeah, having just talked about it now, I think I'll just leave those middle initials out, put my initial in, add some crowns and the date, and call it done. So that'll be, I expect that to be a finish this week. Like even tonight maybe, who knows. I then remembered that I hadn't hadn't yet stitched the October Jeannette Douglas Mini Bouquet sampler. So the October one down here. So grab that out. This is being stitched on 40 count Haystack from Country Stitch, and just using random stuff from Stash. I just have a huge bag filled up with random stuff. And I'm at the point now where I don't even like see what I used, if I used that same colour last time. I just go, oh yeah, that sounds like it's yellow, it'll do. I'm just like, so yeah, 2 more to go. I'm looking forward to the next one. It looks like it has pine cones and things, I'm not sure, it looks bulby. Quite like the look of that one. And then the end of the year, December, looks very symmetrical. Yeah, 2 more to go. Of course, the next one will drop on the first Northern Hemisphere, so on Wednesday for us, so the 2nd for us, and then perhaps I'll get that stitched this week as well. I'll try and keep up to date with that. Should I show you my progress? So my colours got a bit random. Certainly I picked a brighter pink than probably what the called for was. I think it was chrysanthemum. And there it is down there. It's nice and bright. I do like how their little pot's quite bright. I like how my sunflower came out. Probably down here this pink is a bit wrong, but oh whatever, it's fine. So that's where we're at. Whole thing, 2 more to go. And again, the border is very pale. It is more visible in person. I do quite like how subtle it is, but if I hold it back here, right, you can't tell it's there at all. But yeah, in person it's very tone on tone, but it's there. And then I picked up my Flowers Uprising, Margaret. Decided this is something kind of close to a finish. Last time you saw it, I had stitched all this last one here. So I just had these 3 to go. So I picked that one up. This one is being stitched, this is by Tinsel Cross Stitch on Etsy. And it's on 40 count Parchment, also by Country Stitch. Of course, I use a lot of Country Stitch fabrics. Using Alarm Fire Belle Soie, which was a rack from Judith, and I just love this floss so much. Start number 21 of 50, and I got 2 more rows done. I've only got 1 more little one to go, so I might try and finish that one this week as well. So that would give me a couple of finishes and get a just to get two more whips out of the cupboard. I do have a number of whips that have hardly anything on them, so I'm going into 2023 with a few whips, but also a few whips that are very whippy. So they don't have much progress. But I'm really happy with that. So yeah, one narrow band to go and she'll be done. So I feel like it's so close, and given I'm not starting anything till tomorrow after work, so I've kind of got this evening, when I sit down this evening to watch a bit of telly or YouTube or whatever, I'm a bit crooked in mine. I probably might, yeah, I might pick up this to try and finish it, or I'll pick up the Hutt's design and try and finish that. I'll aim to get one of them finished tonight. And then yesterday, when I went to the Stitchy Gathering, I tend to take something on 32 counts because I don't, it's easy to stitch on without a focus light. The lighting's pretty good there, but you know, I usually have a hobby light when I'm stitching. Anyway, I decided to carry on with Crowns of the Kingdom, which I'm doing as a stitch along with Susie Lambert, also one of the New Zealand stitches, and that's the Rosewood Manor. And we started this on the Queen Elizabeth II Memorial here in New Zealand on the 25th of September. 25th or 26th, I might have the wrong date written down, I have to check, but I'm stitching this all with a cord for 32 count antique white linen and all the cord for Petite Treasure Braid, and this was start number 38. I've got a little bit more done. I don't get near as much stitching done when I stitch with other people as I do when I'm on my own. And that's where we're at there. So since you saw it last time, I had started this one, so I finished that big crown there. And I got this little black one in here. This one isn't finished. I need to, when I stitch one of the colours, there's a couple of extra colours that are in there, but I didn't want to thread my needle just for that. And I started this big corner motif here, which I feel like is too high. As I look at this, I'm like going, I'm going to have to pick that out. I think that's in the wrong place. I think I counted from the wrong crown. Fuck. Sorry about that. I did, oh shit. Oh well, we'll see. We might have to have a look. It might be easier just to frog it than it would be to work around it. But yeah, I've started it too high. I've counted off of this crown instead of counting off of this crown. So this should be in line with the bottom crown. I don't know. We'll worry about it later. I might be able to work around it and bring some smaller crowns down, but I certainly don't want to cut some of them out. It's not that much stitching. I might pull it out. I'll probably pull it out because it needs to come down about 8 rows. Oh well. The stitching, this is what happens when you talk to people, have some drama. I'll sort that out. But yeah, it's funny how when I look at something on screen, I often see my mistakes. When I take progress photos to share or just for my own interest, and I look at the progress photo, I'm like, oh, that's not right. It's like I can see it's like stepping back from a piece of art, really. Anyway, that's all right. It's not that big a deal. I will sort that out. Anyway, apart from the fact that half of all my stitching was wrong, I made some progress on that. So that's pretty much all of my stitching. I will show you what my start tomorrow is going to be. And where is it? And it is something in my kitting up pile. So we'll then segue into stuff that's been kitted. Bear with. My start tomorrow, which will be start number 42 of 50. Yep, I've only got 9 starts to go. Is going to be Dracula's Confession by Lindy Stitches. So, I mean, you know, Halloween adjacent, but for me this is more of a gothic / literary design. Now she charted this in a couple of different ways. I'm doing the vertical one and doing all my own conversion, but I do like it. It says, I love the shade and the shadow and would be alone with my thoughts if I may. I'm totally like a vampire, I don't like being in the sun. So I am going to be stitching this on 36 count Mind Blowing from Fortnight Fabrics using my own conversion and a couple of DMCs. I think the DMCs are called for. So I need this tiny little piece, and I wrote a T on the top so I know where I'm going to start this. I'm going to do it this way. So that's mind-blowing, and the way that I'll have it stitched will be, so Dracula will be here, and all the autumn leaves will be through here. So that little tiny piece. And the called for are a little different. I've gone with some interesting choices, I think, and I could stitch some of it and go, well, that's not going to work. So for the greys, so I've just got DMC 310, and you don't need very much of this, just DMC 4 for a little bit of highlight in the Dracula body, but mostly Dracula's going to be in a couple of Tom and Lily, Coca and Anthracite. So the blacks and the greys are going to be that. This grey is just a little bit lighter. The green around the leaves, which is quite yellowy. I don't like the colour it looks like on that. I've picked bronze, also from Tom. I tried to go full on Tom and Lily, but I've got one exception. So it's this really bronzy greeny colour. And then the two leaf colours are gonna be, I think these are my bold choices. Tier and Gorgon. So they've kind of gone more with almost a kind of rusty burgundy and this sort of light orangey colour for the leaves. The called for were like hazelnut and rum raisin, and I'm like, I like these. Also, I wanted, given that the fabric has this sort of orangey colour in it, I wanted colours that look kind of quite nice on that. And then the red, which is in the text, is I've gone with a Victorian Motto antique red. So very happy with that. I think it's derivative, but not exactly the same. So I'm really happy with that. So that, I don't think that's going to be a very long stitch. I mean, it's a tiny piece of fabric. So apart from the Dracula and the leaves, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So I'll kick that off tomorrow on the 31st. So given it is Halloween, I'll just start it then, even though I don't really do Halloween, with very, very occasional exceptions. So yeah, it was fun kitting that up. It took me ages actually to find two flosses that I liked for the leaves. I didn't want to use, I do have hazelnut in my stack, but I didn't want to use hazelnut. I wanted to use non-called for. So the only two called for are the two DMCs. I'm now going to show probably 5 or 6 or 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, might be even 8 or 9 kitted up things. So if that's not your jam, then hey, thanks for coming along. I know that a few people have said that I was talking to, actual messaging, said they were quite keen to see what I've been kitting up. So I'm going to do that because I've sort of been doing that over the last couple of years anyway. Yeah, so stay tuned. So if you're still here, obviously you're quite keen to see beautiful flosses and fabrics and what I've been kitting up. So thanks for that. I have, quite a bit to show you. Some of it's a bit random, and because I've got so much in my stash kitted, I still have a good bloody 12 or 15 kits in my stash. Sorry, projects kitted up that aren't going to make 50 or 50. And there are flosses in there that may very well end up making themselves into one of these, but I've only kitted up from what isn't already kitted up. Does that make sense? When I'm using my Silks for You and my various overdyes and stuff, I'm not going back through other kits to find something better or something different. If when I get to stitch that, I've put other things back in my stash, sure, I might substitute them, but I'm kind of like, you know what? If this is all I had, this is what I'm happy with. So I sort of stop when I'm happy. I don't go looking for something if I'm worried about it. Anyway, okay, very quickly, the fabric and floss that I bought recently from when I was in Australia, and this is my Here Be Dragons, Here Be Lions. So I did cut the fabric and put the floss in there. So Here Be Dragons, the floss were chosen by my sister Megan, and this is on that 36 count parchment that I bought from Fibre and a Whim, and it's kitted up with Threadworks 1043. So that's going to be Here Be Dragons. And Here Be Lions is same fabric, different piece obviously, and I'm going to be using Threadworks 1040, so it has a lot more black in it. It's going to be that one. So yep, cut the fabric, they're ready to go. There is a possibility that one of these might make it into my 50 at 50. Because I've got 2 or 3 gaps, I think, still to fill, but we'll see. Okay, so carrying on from the bee theme, remembering I had a bee start and finish the other day, I went through my scraps and linen scraps, and I kitted up a couple of little charts that were racks from Sam. These will eventually be passed on. One of them is, they're both from Little House Needleworks. One of them is the Stitching Bee. It's so cute. And I just grabbed a scrap of 32 count flax linen by Soie, and I just again pulled random flosses from my stash. At this stage I've got cast iron skillet from Gentle Arts. I've got a couple of weeks. I've got Oscar and Parchment, and then a yellow calendula from Nina's Threads. So they're going to go on that, and they will stitch up to do that. So very easy to kit something up when you've just got 4 flosses. And the other one is Honeybee Sampling. That's chart number 155, and this is going to be on a scrap of platinum linen 32 count, and a few more flosses for this, a bit more random. I've got golden sandstone, which you might see there's a couple of different colours there. One of them, when I stitched another project, I just pulled out the dark strands and kept the light, so I'll just probably use the lighter colours. So we've got golden sandstone from Victorian Motto, as well as Granny's Green Apples, and a couple of Tom and Lily. I've got Armandier is the white, and Havana with the I'm not sure which colour that one's using for, but you need these two. You need 2 shades of kind of gold, so you need one for the honeycomb and one for the bees. And then I've got onyx, just for a little bit of black. There's only a little bit of black in it, but I may end up subbing that back out with cast iron skillet when I'm done. And I've got blue coat red for the colour for the flowers. So there's just a few little flowers in the chart. So that is that one there. Another one I've kitted up in preparation for my 50 at 50. This is going to be a start later. I can't remember when, but it might be in summer. So December. Mermaid Song by Carriage House Sampling. So I've got one floss that I'm not sure about, but it'll do for now. So this, I pulled a piece of 40 count shortbread by Country Stitch. So I love shortbread. It's a nice, slightly cooler. It's a little bit more yellow than Antique White, but it is a cool cream. I think the proper side's that one. It's got a little bit of greeny yellow mottling in it. So that's the fabric, and I pulled all my own flosses again, arrange. So we've got a bunch of Victorian Motto, and I've gone, it's going to be quite a different colourway. I haven't tried to match it exactly. So from a black, I've pulled black coffee, so not even a black, because black coffee is really quite a browny black. Oh, that tag's going to be annoying. So black coffee, the water, I mean this colour photo I don't trust basically. The water is described as blue-green, but it's very blue in that picture. But I've decided to pull this colour Ocean Mist for the green. There's a lot of satin stitches for their water. The burgundy colour I've gone with Americana Berry. Also, these are both from Victorian Motto. And there's a number of the more sagey green for the foliage. I've gone with seaweed, seemed appropriate for a beachy sort of thing, oceany thing to use seaweed. That'll probably finish off that skein, but because I'm doing 40 count, it'll be 1/1, so I should have plenty. There's several browns that are used for the fish, etc. And I've got two Victorian mottos and a Tom and Lily. I've got Hearth and Home. So this is going to warm it up a little. The colours that are in the picture are definitely less brown, less warm. Autumn Weave. And then I've also got a Tom and Lily, which is just one of their daily collections, just their standard collection, doesn't have a name. And then I currently pulled Victorian Motto Shaded Flax for her skin. I'm not sure about that though. She definitely looks peachy, but the called for DMC is very grey. The called for DMC is, or taupe, 613. And I don't know, I'm not sure what colour I'll do her skin, but at the moment I've pulled that colour there. So that's my colour palette for Mermaid Song, so I'm looking forward to that. So another one kitted up after my trip to Australia, which I bought the silk while I was over there, is the Sampler Cove Rhapsody in Red ribbon sampler. She's quite a big one. And this is, I've got a 40 count Toy by Country Stitch. And all of the Gloriana, which was in 5 skeins each of Crimson and Cranberry. So it's going to look amazing on there. It's going to look very rich. And yeah, so that one's all nicely kitted up. Oh, ready to go. This, I don't know when I'm going to start it. I don't know when I'm starting most of these, but I kind of got a little bit of anxiety. Kind of going, I've got fabric and charts, and so I spent some time kitting up, and then it's nice to match things together and have them ready to go, especially when I've got all these piles of beautiful silk and beautiful overdyed cottons and lovely fabrics, and I just want to see them married together and ready, and I want to see them stitched. And then of course, so having got overwhelmed with having fabrics that weren't kitted up, I then went and ordered a whole lot more fabrics, so then I've got other things to get up in the future, but oh well, that's just how it is. So last night, yesterday afternoon when I got home, I just felt like doing some more kitting up, so I carried on with silk. So I had all my silk out and again kitted up a few more. Well, I had the fabrics chosen, so I just needed to match some floss and stuff, and again this could change, but this is where we're at for now. So a couple of my two Queenstown samplers that I bought, I think they were, I don't know when I got them, this year, no, last year, Expo, or I'm not sure, but so I've got Caroline and Macy 1832, and this is going to be on 40 count merino, and of course they're reproductions, but I will personalize them. I'm thinking about doing one of these for my aunt and one for my mum, and I don't know why I pointed at this one. I think this one, I'm not sure which one will be which. I think this one might be my mum because that colour blue she loves, and the other one might be my aunt, her twin, and just put their like as memorial samplers really. So anyway, so we've got 40 count merino from Country Stitch, so quite a pale, and I've just pulled Silks for You PR070, just the black, and then a Silks for You PR13, just this lovely blue, Like Mum would love that colour, so it's nicely variegated. And the other Queenstown sampler that I have is an Amot 1813, and it's that one there. And for this one I pulled 40 count Parchment, which is slightly warmer than the merino. And this one has a range of different flosses, a little bit random. It's quite nice to see, like it's a Quaker style, but there's sort of some really bright colours in there. So I've got a little bit of green, so I've got, I think these are all silks for you. So we've got CM004, I'll take that down. There is a black, I'll use the same PR070 that was in the other one. A blue, which is PR021. There's a lighter blue, it's only a little bit of this, I think there's one heart. It's kind of quite random, this sampler. This was a Silk of the Month #1 from May 21. And I literally need like, I think one little heart. So we're talking about 20 stitches in that colour, but I pulled the skein. And then there is a beige colour, and all it is charted on here is this random symbol there, so I'm not going to worry about that. And then there's some sort of browns, like, it's the colours for MPI. They've got Brick Light, Brick, Bunny Brown, and Russet Red, and Coral. So they've got 4 colours that are, I guess, in the birds, the flower, and the writing. I've just pulled 5 corally shades, and I'll make them work. And there are silks for you. So we've got PR189, and then 3 from the August 22 silks of the month. So we've got #1, 3, and 5. So I'm just going to do that. I think that'll be really cool. It's going to make it a little bit more brighter and perhaps brighter than what it's charted at. There's that one. I've got 2 more to show you that I did last night while I was sitting watching something on TV. Don't remember what. Oh, catching up on Taskmaster episodes. And again, I wanted to do these with silks and make them really bright. You'll see some of these colours show again. So one was the antique, so I talked earlier I got fabric, and then I changed my mind for the antique alphabet band sampler by Vivian Powers. I'm going to stitch the long version because she initially did this version and then she felt like it was unfinished. And she added a couple more bands, so I'm going to do the band version, and I just really love it. And I've got 40 count, nope, I've got 35 count shortbread by Country Stitch. So a nice big ass piece of that. That's probably more the colour there. And again, I've gone with silks, I think all silks for you. I will tell you if they're not silks for you. So it's that one there, and it is kind of quite bright, but the colours, I don't think this mock-up's terribly excellent. Oh, the only one I haven't pulled is a white. I think I've got a white, the only white I've got from Silks for You is natural, and it's quite cream. There is a white that I used for the winter garden. I think I'll use that. There's not much white, it's just in a few flowers. So I'll probably pull that, I just don't know where it is. So, okay, so what we've got is, in no particular order, I've got a couple of greens. I've got Silk of the Month #5 from December 21, and also same month, Silk of the Month #3. So a couple of greens. I've got a whole lot of lovely blues, and we've got July 22, #4, and #2, and #1. So those 3 blues. I've got a navy, which is PR065. I've got a blue-green, a nice tealy colour, which is PR062. And then a couple of warm colours. We've got PR057, which I freaking love this colour. And then I've picked a Silk of the Month number 3 from September 21. So that's going to be my palette for that. I think that's going to look stunning. Try and get some light. And then while I was at it with all these bright colours, I wanted to kit up Firebird Sampler from Tinsel Cross Stitch, also off of Etsy. That's the mock-up, which is pretty crap. And I took a little bit of liberty with this. So this I've pulled 35 count Toy from Country Stitch. So you'll see I get these same creamy colours pop up over and over again. That's okay. So on this one, I've got a whole lot of random stuff. So what have I pulled? I've got a sagey green, and again, most of this is Silks for You. I'll let you know if it's different. So PR111, so PR111. And then a couple more greens. I've got, it's probably going to be a little bit brighter than what it's charted, but that's okay. PR179 and PR165 are the two greens. Blues, we've got a couple of bright blues. July 22, number 5, and number 3. I feel like across those two charts, we've got all of July. It's a good month for those blues. There's sort of a lavendery purple, which is PR129. And then a couple of violets, and I've got Silk of the Month number 4 from September 21, and CM005. Then we've got, leave the fun till last, I've got a charcoal-y grey, which was Silk of the Month number 5 from February 22, and a couple of browns. We've got PR120, we've got a little bit there left, but should be plenty for what's on the chart. And Silk of the Month, January 2022, number 4. Then we've got PR036, and the two reds are pulled. We've got PR126 and the same PR057. So that is my beautiful bright silk palette. So a bit of a rainbow, really. I've got the whole rainbow covered, haven't I? Red, orangish, yellow, green, blue, violet. So when do I want to start those? Now. When am I going to start them? Not now, but anyway, they're kitted up, ready to go. Again, I know I've kitted up a lot of green silks and other projects, so if and when I go to start these, if I've pulled another one out of a project, they might get swapped in, but if I don't, I'm happy with this, and yeah, that's that. So that's all of the things that I've kitted up in the last couple of weeks. That's quite a lot. That'll go into I can put them into my kit box now. For those of you who aren't aware, I have a box in a cupboard, a carton that has all of my kitted up projects. So and that's where I pull from if I feel like a start, or certainly where I pulled from for my 50 at 50. With these going in, actually I'll put on screen how many I've got kitted up still. That's how many kits I have, and I only have the 9, 8, I can't do math, 8 starts to go, but I've got Dracula as one of them, Mermaid Song is another one, Quinto Acuto is another one, I've got a Carolyn Manning, I've got 2 Carolyn Mannings to start, I've got a Moroccan sampler to start. Yeah, I think there's only 2 gaps, so I think at this stage I know what I'm stitching next week, so I might have a look and see. I don't know. I might get you to choose one of my next couple of starts, or one of them might be Here Be Dragons, and the other one, yeah, I might only have 1 gap. We shall see. Anyway, it's been a long one. It's over an hour, but I do have to cut quite a bit of faffing out. thank you for coming along. I really enjoy having you along, and I appreciate all the kind comments, and thanks for your ongoing support of my sister. She is reading and liking the comments. She possibly won't comment back though, I don't know, maybe she will. And yeah, again, thanks for those of you who over the last year or so have supported me with buying me a coffee. The link's down below if that's something you feel like doing. I will get all the mail out in the next couple of weeks for my giveaways. They started going out, I just have to get to the post shop. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't. You can still like it even if you have subscribed. Looking forward to seeing you next week. Have a great week stitching. Find joy in your stitching, and as always, don't let your needles rust. Ciao.